Tips with Tim.
And welcome again to Tips with Tim, the show where I, Tim, share drawing tips with you, mostly about storyboarding, but of course not always. But we are back again talking about storyboarding in the part 2 of our 180 rule series. Now, last episode I talked about keeping the camera on one side of the 180, that invisible line that exists between two characters while they're, interacting, talking, or whatever. But there are times where you may want to move the camera around to the other side, or that 180 can shift, and that happens if the characters just move around, if in the frame, or maybe there's an emotional or a tonal shift in the conversation where you need to shift things around. Now let me show you what I mean. Let's go back to our tortoise and the hare characters here. Okay. So the rabbit here is talking to the tortoise and very happy, and the tortoise turns away. He gets a little aloof, going for the close-up where he says something like, I don't know, well, you forgot my birthday. So we have an emotional shift here, right? Something's gone, we've gone from happy to a little bit somber. And then the rabbit comes over and says, but I'm sorry, or whatever those line is. But we really can't do that, even though the turtle has shifted and looking the other direction. In order to go to this shot, we have to cut back wide here, and then see the rabbit come around to this side. You have to see him make that change, and with him, while he moves, that 180 shifts with him. Simple enough, right? But sometimes you need to move the camera around for various reasons. I've got a situation here put together. We've got same characters, and we've got them driving along. Very common situation. You see this in hundreds of movies and TV shows. And of course, if we plan our camera map like we did before, we've got the 180 is here. As long as we're keeping the cameras on one side of the 180, we're golden, right? But let's say we did want to cut to a shot maybe like this and cut to a rear view. Most of the time, it's going to be okay. I mean, we can, if they're pointing out the front window, look, from here, and say, hey, look at that over there, and then we cut to see what they're seeing. It's not going to confuse the audience that much, but there is a way to soften that transition to make it feel less obtrusive, and that's called the neutral shot. So if you cut from the front view, to maybe a close-up of the rabbit adjusting the radio, and then cut to the back seat. Where the camera's on the other side of the 180. That's a lot smoother transition. It's not as noticeable, doesn't feel as jarring. Of course, if you need that immediate, look over there, and cut to the other side, it's fine. It's going to be okay. But what you don't want to do is to jump back and forth and ping pong on either side of the 180. In other words, if we have this shot, and we cut to a close-up of the turtle, and then we cut to a close-up of the rabbit. We don't cross the 180 here and cut between this shot and this shot, because that's wrong. They're both facing the same way, and we lose our continuity. Neutral shots help that. They have a buffer, and it could be anything that's not the characters. You could even cut outside the car and see it drive by. You can, like I said, adjusting the radio, or there are a scene where they're in the woods. You can cut to a bee crawling on a flower, or if they're in a restaurant, the waiter cut to the waiter bringing the food, or they're sitting on a park bench. You cut to the pigeons eating the crumbs. Any neutral shot that isn't the characters helps ease that transition from one side of the 180 to the other. Get it? But what if you've got more than two characters? The 180 is easy to see, but that straight line between two. But what if you've got 3 or 4? Tune in next time. We're going to talk about using more characters in a scene and how to deal with the 180 and camera placement. As always, you can check out my full storyboarding course at creatureartteacher.com. And meanwhile, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate it. Keep drawing, and we'll see you next time.
Tips with Tim.